every secret, every shame, every fear, every pain lives inside the dark, but that's not who we are. We are children of the day. So wake up, sleeper, lift your head. We were meant for more than this. Fight the shadows, conquer death. Make the most of the time we have left. And we are the light of the world. We are the city on a hill. We are the light of the world, and we gotta let our light shine. We are the light of the world. We are the city on a hill. We are the light of the world, and we gotta let our light shine. Oh, let our light shine. We are called to share our hearts, to tell the world just who we are. There's freedom in our lives when we can say, I'm gonna let my feelings guide my way, oh, in every way. So we are the light of the world, and we are the city on a hill. We are the light of the world, and we gotta let our light shine. We are the light of the world. We are the city on a hill. We are the light of the world, and we gotta let our light shine.
Good morning, Unity Palo Alto. I'm Reverend John Riley, and I have the joy of serving as your senior minister, and I'd like to welcome you to our live celebration service. Whether you're watching with us live or during the week, we're so glad that you joined us here today. And if you're new to Unity, what we want you to know is that Unity is a global spiritual community. We've been called welcoming and inclusive by people from all walks of life, seeking a deeper expression and experience of spiritual living, seeking greater health, wholeness, and abundance, and to do life better. We teach positive, practical spiritual principles that you can apply in your life every day to help you live a more joyful and abundant life. We're so blessed this morning to have with us Joe Angelis as our platform leader, Deborah Winters as our soloist, with Russell Norman on piano. And so we begin our service with our opening song. Deborah, take it away.
This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Good morning. I am Joe Angeles. It's so awesome to connect with all of you this morning. Welcome to Unity Palo Alto's online service. We are part of a worldwide movement of prayer, publishing, and education, teaching positive, practical, spiritual principles that you and I can apply to help us live a more joyful and abundant life. Unity is a spiritual movement. We are welcoming and inclusive, and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And we have 5 core principles that guide us in living that our spiritual path. First one, God is. There's only one power and presence active in the universe and in our lives, God, the good, the omnipotence. And you may call this God isness, source, spirit, divine mind, divine love. And for me lately, it has been source. This source, according to our second principle, is the innate intelligence and substance in all creation and in all people, which means that you and I are innately good. And we carry out this innate goodness through our third principle, which is the law of mind action, which means thoughts and feelings in our mind produce after their kind, which means that we have the ability to affect our world. And we do this so beautifully and so intentionally through our fourth principle, which is the practice of meditation and prayer. Meditation and prayer connects us to that creative, constructive power of God to work in, through, and as us. So through this connection, it makes the fifth principle so much easier, which is the practical application. So as we live according to these truths daily, we become what we were created to be, the living expressions of the image of God, which Unity calls the Christ. And these 5 core principles also guide us in living our vision statement. So would you affirm that with me together? Centered in God, we co-create a world that works for all. And so it is. And now it's our call to worship song. Take it away.
There's been a storm brewing inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's happening that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to be. I hear the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call, and it's asking, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? It's time to explore. They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. Gonna let my safety nets down and trust my heart to show me where to go. I've got this feeling in my soul, and when I get there I will know. I hear the call of something more. I feel a call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call, and it's asking, what am I here for? What am I here for? What am I here for? It's time to explore.
And now for our reading from the Daily Word. Today's Daily Word is inspiration. I will read the affirmation, then I will invite you to affirm it with me. I am grateful to those who inspire me. Would you affirm that with me together? I am grateful to those who inspire me. I admire and respect the sacred calling and work of innovative and groundbreaking thinkers and leaders. The work they have done to forge new paths and lead humanity in new directions inspires me. I've heard inspiration described as the breath of God, an inner quickening. This quickening is mine as I forge new paths and boldly journey forward, creating my life anew. To keep divine inspiration flowing, I make time to rest in contemplative stillness. I begin each day with a new prayer for a receptive mind and heart. I pray for the courage and clarity to release my rigid expectations. I live in a state of gratitude for the inspiration that flows from God and the opportunity to share it. And our Bible verse for today is from Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. And now a solo from Deborah.
We move too fast. We miss so much. We seldom see all the miracles in front of us. A warm embrace, a human touch, and so it goes. I race around, search high and low for a truth I used to know, when there was magic to be found. 'Cause finding wonderland is taking time to see. The child within has always been there, smiling back at me. So when I close my eyes, I just remember, and I can't help finding wonderland. It's not too late. Here in this day, hearts cannot break in a story's nick of time. A happy ending, a perfect rhyme. 'Cause finding wonderland is finding who you are. The child within has always been there, like a shining star. So when I close my eyes, I see forever, and I can't help finding wonderland. Ordinary magic happens every single day, and wonderland is never far away. 'Cause finding wonderland is going home again, to feel the love another gives and give it back again. If you should lose your way, reach out for someone's hand, and you'll be finding wonderland. You'll be finding
Well, are you seeking? Are you seeking that something good? Are you feeling stagnant and stuck? Are you feeling that call that there is something better, something more, some more good in your life, that wonderland that we want to experience in our lives? Well, today we're going into the second step of really living into that call that's pulling you forward. Last week we began with the idea of claiming it. The idea that there is good in our lives right now and we should claim it, because so often people tend to look at life, they look at their tasks, they look at the challenges, they look at their things to do and their relationships as needing something more, right? Something more shiny, something more brighter, something more money, a better something, a better job, perhaps a little less of complaining, something like that. We're always looking at it through the perspective of lack and limitation. And so we know by the fifth principle and by our practice of the principle that when we look at things from that perspective, from a lack perspective, that's what we see and experience and create. We create our own stagnation. And so our first task last week was to claim it, to claim our good. To look around the world, to look around your life and to see where there is good. Where there is God, where's the evidence of Spirit in your life? And to really do it intentionally, so that when we begin our day, we first begin it with that lens, that consciousness of good exists. We claim it for ourselves. We claim our spiritual inheritance, if you will. And when you begin that day, now your lens is looking for more good. You're looking through the lens of good, and you're attracting and you're creating, and you're being a part of life that way by claiming your good. Now, I'd like you to take just a moment to kind of anchor yourself into that. Take just a moment to think about something that you're truly grateful in your life. Something that brings you a felt sense of appreciation and gratitude. That you can feel it in your heart. You can feel yourself opening up. You can feel your shoulders drop as the tension drops, and just allow yourself to sink into and claim this good in your life. It might be a relationship, it might be someone special in your life, or a dear pet, or it might be an experience that you've had in the past that you recall that brings you great joy. Maybe it's something that you have, or some item that reminds you of your good. If you can't think of anything, just focus on your breath and realize that your breath is a gift. That Spirit is breathing you right now. So just take a moment to bring that sense of goodness to life and to claim it. And see if you can feel that sense of gratitude well up within you. See if you can feel that energy emanating from you in this present moment. Because that's where we want to begin, from that spot. And now we're coming to the second step, which is to explore it. To explore all that life has to offer for us. So as we come to this idea Think about exploring like perhaps a bookstore. I know that was the cover as you saw it. That's the new Unity Palo Alto bookstore. And I can't wait for you to be back here to explore it. I remember when I was younger, I don't know, 10, 30 years ago, I used to love going to the bookstore. Tiffany and I would go, and we would, search through the CD section. I don't know, does anybody remember what CDs are? All of you young folks may not know what a CD is. I feel like I'm on the other end of the Wedding Singer movie. We would look through the CDs, we would look through books, and it would just be a time of exploration. I don't even know if there are bookstores anymore. Are there? Are there bookstores anymore? There's nobody here to answer me. Well, I do know that there are bookstores. There's some small bookstores, there's some big bookstores. In fact, we were on our vacation to Hawaii just before we were coming home. My son Ethan wanted to get a new book so he could read it on the plane. Hang on. Whew. And so we found a used bookstore on the Big Island, and we went in there, and I was brought back to that time of exploration, of looking at, look at all these great books that I've read in the past. I wonder what new is here. And of course, Ethan is like right on it. He picked up 2, and he's like, okay, these are the 2. I'm ready to go. I'm like, I just started. So we went on our way. But remember, what in your life do you love to explore? Maybe it's a bookstore. I like to explore the hardware store. I don't know. That's just me. I also love to explore tide pools. The tide pools at Half Moon Bay are teeming with life, just so beautiful. I love to get down there and just explore it. Maybe it's a trip that you're planning, that you want to go and explore a city, or a trip you've been on that you loved exploring the different avenues, the different alleyways, the different areas to eat, and how that made you feel, exploring life. And so that's the feeling that we want to generate within us. Think about when you were a kid. Everything was an exploration. A new toy was an exploration. The park just around the corner was an exploration. You got to go and explore what was happening around that area, to pretend to be something different, and just allow yourselves to open up to this idea of exploration. And so when we allow ourselves to open up to explore all of the opportunities that life has to offer, to explore the richness and the potential that we have. So now I'd like you to take a moment and think about the yeah buts. When you were claiming your good and you're feeling the good, that yeah but started creeping in. Maybe it's a task in front of you. Maybe it's a challenge that you're up against. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's a decision that you have to make, a relationship. There's something in your life that is up for you, that's alive in you, that isn't necessarily bringing you that sense of joy, but you want to experience it differently. Our spiritual growth is no different. Maybe it's a spiritual practice. Sometimes we think about this idea of enlightenment. Once I'm enlightened, I'm done. I'm going to transcend. But enlightenment is just the realization of our oneness with God, and it happens on a moment-by-moment basis. So become like a child, as the master teacher Jesus said as he entered into Galilee with his disciples. He sat down and they started asking questions, and he said, truly, I tell you, that unless you become like this little child, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven, of course, is a state of consciousness. It's that knowing our oneness. It's that being in that idea and knowing that exists for us and that we're a part of that idea of oneness with God, that God is in us like the ocean is in the wave. And so enlightenment is, as the late Thich Nhat Hanh would say, the ocean realizing it's the wave. That's the kingdom of heaven. And when we come from that perspective, all of life opens up for us. We experience life from such a different place. We experience it from a place of harmony and love, from compassion and self-worth, from a place of inner joy, allowing it to be. And so we must become and look at the world and look at our challenges through this same eye of exploration. How can I look at this job and see something different in it? How can I look at this challenge and maybe look at it from a new perspective? Maybe it's an old behavior pattern that I have. Maybe I need to change my behavior patterns. You see, the challenge with growth is that we have to change. And who wants to change? We get so complacent and stuck in our ways. Those automatic behaviors are just running us. In order to change those, we have to actually do something. We have to explore and find new ways and new things and new ideas and try them on for size. And then with the things that work and lead to our greater good and the greater good of those around us, the greater good of the collective consciousness of our world. That's what we're called to do, is to raise ourselves up. And so there are 3 tasks that I would like us to think about. So as you bring that challenge to mind, use that one challenge as we're walking through this. The first step is to try new things. Every day, try something new. If you have a challenge at work, and maybe it's a relationship with your boss or a subordinate or a colleague or someone in another department, now how can you approach that relationship different? Try something new. Try something new that's good. Not the same old, passive-aggressive sarcasm, snarkism, right? Not that path. Try a different path. Try to approach them a little bit differently. Maybe it's the mundane tasks that you have. Can you approach those tasks a little differently? Try something new. Do them backwards. Every opportunity here is for us to stretch ourselves and find the good in it and find something new, find a nugget, find a new way to experience and navigate it. We may not call it good. It may not be something that we are thinking is good in our lives, but we can navigate it in a way that moves us forward and moves us to a higher state of knowing our oneness, moves us into that state of feeling content within ourselves regardless of the situation around us, feeling that inner peace regardless of what others are throwing at you. I feel that sense of self-worth, even amongst the mistakes. Just allow that to be. So that's the first step. Try things new. The second step is when it doesn't work, let it go. Let it go. And now there's 2 sides to this coin. One side is, I'm trying something. Oh, it's too hard. I can't do it. I'm going to let it go. Because I'm not willing to grow. I'm not willing to expand myself a little bit more. I'm not willing to allow myself to try new things and give it a good try. So if you're trying something new, give it its due. Allow it to, run its course and see if you're giving it your all. And if it doesn't work, then let it go. There's a cost, what's it called? It's called the sunk cost fallacy. And that's the idea, because what we tend to do is people tend to continue down a path if there's been time and money and effort investing into something, regardless of the costs or the benefits. Right? This is what we're supposed to do, so we just got to keep going down that path. Regardless, we just have to keep going. Got to make it work, even though we're losing money, even though we're not reaching our full potential, even though there's something not working there, we just keep trying to do it in the same old way. Well, it's time to change. Now, some people argue that, but what if it's leading to greater happiness? What if it's leading to greater joy? Well, that's a benefit, right? That's what we're talking about. That needs to be factored into the equation. Is what you're doing giving you a sense of joy and self-worth, giving you a skill that you can apply, giving you a path that you can walk down? And if it's not, let it go. Sometimes we go to these great seminars what get us really pumped up and get our adrenaline flowing and our endorphins going, and we feel so excited, and then 2 days later we're back at work and we're thinking about, what's the next sunken treasure that I have to go to, because I'm not feeling it here. Because we're not bringing what we learned in that experience into our everyday life. We're not exploring how that can work. So we really need to give ourselves the opportunity to explore it, and when it doesn't work, we let it go. Sometimes we hold on to things too long, right? It's that last jar of olives in the refrigerator that, I might use those at some point, but, I really don't like them. But I might. We hold on to them and we become stagnant. How often are you holding on to the old olives in your life? How often are you looking at things and saying, well, I might use this someday? We just become stale and stagnant. There's no flow. When we become, when we hold on to things too tight, right, there is no flow in our lives, and so our good can't come to us. We're really shutting out the good. It's like we've got this dam and this water, and it's all stagnant. We won't let it out so the water can flush it out and clean it. So it's times like that when you've given it your shot and you decide, well, it's time for me to let it go. It's time for me to release it. So in our exploration, we can find new ways, and if we give it a fair shot to see, is it helping? Is it changing me? Is there a path here for me? And what am I holding on to in the past that I can let go of? As I'm finding new ways, what old patterns can I let go of? And so that's the second step. And the third step is realizing that what you are seeking is often right in front of you. So take a look at that task. Take a look at that challenge, that goal, that idea, that thing that you're working towards, that thing. Because often that thing is not really what we're looking for. That thing is not the end goal. What we want is the experience that lies behind the goal. What we want is the healing that lies behind the challenge. So if you have a goal and you can look at it and say, well, what lies back of it? What is it that I want to experience? What sense of self will it give me? What sense of self-worth? What sense of self-compassion? Is that really what I seek? Am I seeking inner peace? Am I seeking a sense of ease and comfort? What is it that I'm seeking? Because what I'm seeking is often not the thing that's out there. What I'm seeking is right here, right in front of me. Something that I can generate and create through spiritual practice. A sense of self-worth by knowing my oneness and aligning my thoughts, my words, my actions with that one presence and one power. You see, we go beyond, we have that transcendent idea of God, that transcendence idea of the allness of life, love, and wisdom. That's out there and we're all a part of it. And when we align with it, we get the immanent expression of it, the immanent God that's within us, the immanent energy of spirit, the immanent, that it's like that loving presence putting its arm around us, guiding us. We have that experience when we connect with it. And so what we're seeking is often not out there. Now, sometimes there are challenges and things that we just have to go through. So what we're seeking is a good outcome, but also a great experience going through the outcome. Maybe a great lesson at the end of it. Maybe something that I can apply in my life every day and help me live more joyfully and more generously. It's this aspect where our old wounds are healed. Because we're holding on to those old wounds. Or one of those buttons that we have, those buttons that get pushed. One of my buttons got pushed. And so all of a sudden I'm out of my bliss and I'm now in the emotion. But if I claim my good in this situation, if I claim my good here and now, and if I can explore that button a little bit and see, well, what's behind the wound? Maybe it's that same sense of self-worth, self-compassion, that same sense of harmony and inner peace that I'm seeking. And when I realize that that's what I'm seeking, I can give myself that. I can allow that spiritual energy to flow through me, and in doing so, heal that wound. That's where our healing can come from. It's also where we'll find meaning in life. right? As we're out there exploring, let's look for something good to do in the world. Because it's not just for me, right? We're not just being selfish. The idea here is that when we create good in our lives, we're creating it for ourselves and we're creating it for others as well. That harmonizing energy radiates from us. So as we're going through our life and looking for things, exploring new opportunities, exploring new ideas, trying good things out, take a moment to think about what you can do in the next 3 or 4 months that will help the world. Because that will give you a greater sense of what you're really seeking. That sense of spiritual wholeness. That sense of oneness with God. That uplifting sense of inner joy, inner peace that comes with that experience. So as we're moving through this week, begin to explore. Begin to look at the things that are around us and around you. Any of the challenges, any of the tasks, any of the things that seem a little difficult, look for new ways to get around it, new ways to move through it, new ways to be in it, so that you show up. So that you show up showing you're good. You show up as the light of the world. As the song says, you got it, you got it, you got it. Let's move to our affirmation. I'm going to read the affirmation once and just allow it to fill you up. Allow this idea of exploration to build up within you. And then I'll invite you to affirm it with me. Life is a wonder waiting to be explored. Reveling in oneness with an open heart and mind, I explore the possibilities that await me. Feel that sense of awe and wonder. Become as a child as you read this. Together, life is a wonder waiting to be explored. Reveling in oneness with an open heart and mind, I explore the possibilities that await me. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Maya Angelou once said, "This is a wonderful day. I have never seen this one before." Let us move through this week with that sense of wonder and awe as we explore the possibilities that life has to give us. And let's begin with meditation and affirmative prayer. I invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath, and if it's safe and comfortable, close your eyes or simply soften your gaze or move your attention inward. And as we breathe into this present moment, we allow all of those things that we're struggling against to just gently drift away. With the breath, we feel ourselves grounded in the earth. Feel the energy and gravity just draining all of the stress and strain out of our body, out of our thoughts, out of our mind, out of our emotions. Wiggle your toes so it doesn't get stuck down there, and just allow that stressful energy to drain in this present moment. And with the breath, we allow ourselves to become and experience the gratitude for life. Grateful for every good within us. Grateful for every good that is being expressed through us. Grateful for every good that has been made manifest in our lives. And as we breathe, we move into that space of knowing our allness with life, love, and wisdom. That space of experiencing that divine essence, infinite love, pure joy in the stillness of the silence in our mind. And from this place of peace within, from this sense of knowing our oneness, let us affirm that we are spiritually whole right here, right now. Let us affirm, I am one with the ever-present flow of abundance, of health and wholeness. Let us affirm that today we explore all of the good that God has for us. We hold the same prayer for all of those prayer requests that have come to us online or through the mail or in our prayer chest. And if there's somebody who you hold in prayer, I invite you to say their name or bring their name to mind as we see them discovering this spiritual wholeness within them, as we see them discovering and claiming their good, exploring new avenues of good in their life, knowing that divine love is doing its perfect work here and now. We hold this same prayer for our world, national, state, and local leaders, seeing them making wise and loving decisions for peace on earth, goodwill, equality, and justice for all people. And for this time together, for this sacred experience, this shared experience of divine love, this shared experience of our wholeness, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And we celebrate by singing the Alleluia.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
And with a nice, deep cleansing breath, let us return our attention to this time and this space. To gently open your eyes if you haven't already done so, and just allow that energy, that loving, harmonizing energy, that exploring idea to float through you this week. Unity Palo Alto is here to help you discover that spiritual magnificence, to help you discover that oneness with the allness of life, love, and wisdom, and live from that every day. We're so grateful for your presence here and your gifts that allow us to do this sacred work. And if you feel inspired, we invite you to send a love offering to support our online, our in-person services, and all of the activities that are going on here at Unity Palo Alto. There's so many ways in which you can give. And however you choose to give to this spiritual community, give it with love. For it's the manner in which we give to the world that we receive from the world tenfold. The affirmation that we say is on the screen, and I invite you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath, and with that joy in your heart, affirm it with me. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And so it is.
Who knows what tomorrow brings in our world? Few hearts survive. All I know is the way There are mountains in our way, but we climb the steps every day. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Some hang on to what used to be in our lives, looking behind. All we have is here and now, all our lives out there to find. The road is long, there may be mountains in our way, but we find the path every day. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Time goes by, no time to cry, just keep love alive, alive. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Love lift us up where we belong, where those eagles fly on a mountain high. Love lift us up where we belong, far from the world we know, up where the clear winds blow. Love lift us up where we belong.
We are a welcoming and vibrant community with many virtual opportunities for spiritual growth, sacred service, and celebrating our community. First up, next Sunday, February 27, we are going to have our annual meeting. It will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it will be a Zoom meeting, so everyone is welcome to attend as we vote for a new board of trustees, ratify the budget, and so much more. And just a reminder, for the voting members, because it's a legal requirement, each member must have a unique registration and login. So that means each member must log in a separate device in order to vote. So if you are sharing a device with someone else, instead of it counting for two, it will only count for one. So bear that in mind. Then the following Wednesday, March 2nd, is Ash Wednesday, which means it's the beginning of Lent. And Lent typically is often thought of as a time for us to give up something. So to ease us and guide us through this season of change, Reverend John Riley will do a daily blog on this year's Lent booklet called Release and Renew 2022, a spiritual practice for Lent. And the spiritual booklet actually will contain like daily affirmations, Bible verses, and essays. And then, along with that, Reverend John Riley will offer his insight and maybe a meditation or even a prayer to just help you and I let go of what no longer serves us and renew our awareness of the good that's in and around us. And if you would like to get a booklet either online or print copy, you can go to unity.org. And for more information on this and other opportunities, you can go to our website at unitypaloalto.org. And you can also check out our social media channels. And there are so many ways to connect with us and share the good news. That is Unity Palo Alto. And if you are watching us online, I invite you to pop over to the chat room and say hello to each other. Or you may simply put your hand in your heart and send out that love to all of our friends in Unity. And if this is your first time or you're back from a long absence, we invite you to say hello on the chat. And if you would like to complete or fill out an online connection card, you can go to our website at www.unitypaloalto.org. And happy Sunday, everyone. And today is our third Sunday. So today we actually bless the kids. We bless the kids in our lives and we bless the kids in ourselves. So I invite you to actually extend your hand and we say to each other and to the kids in our life, you are God's perfect child. God and I love you just the way you are. And now, our Song of Peace by Deborah. Take it away.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be with God as Creator. Family, all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Well, thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Joe, and thank you, Russell, and thank you all for being here today. I have one quick announcement. I've been getting so many queries about when we're going to open up again and whether we're open yet. And the answer is not quite yet. Last month, the board had decided that we're going to stay closed through the rest of February. And then at the end of February, at our next board meeting on Monday, the 28th, we will be talking about what the next steps are for opening. So stay tuned for that process, and we'll let you know. Stay tuned to our website, and that will give you all of the information as we move forward. And now for our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Go out and explore. Blessings.